Hey, everybody. I apologize for being on here just a little bit late today. I wanted to walk the dog before I started because I didn't want him carrying on and carrying over while I'm doing this live. So I said, you know what? Let me just take him for a walk right now. Right. So I ended up getting on a little late. I apologize for that. I apologize for that. So today I'm going live in two places in on YT and here on TikTok so that I could save the entire video, but I wanted to get on here. Hey, 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 I see. Hi, Darlene. How are you, my love? Thank you for the daily heart me. Thank you for joining the team. Yes. So I wanted to go live, and tonight I wanted to talk about, are you healing or are you hiding? Because I think that is very important to talk about that. And I wanted to say this to you all. I wanted to say this. Hi Laverne, thank you for watching. Yes, I see you, Darlene. I see you, baby. Darlene, what city and state? Laverne, what city and state are you all chiming in from? What city and state? Talk to me. I want to know while we doing what we doing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the popular vote. Minnesota, okay, okay. Laverne, you're in Long Island. I'm in Long Island, New York. I didn't know that. St. Paul, Minnesota. I love that. Is it nice out there? I've never been there before. I have never been there before. I'm trying to figure out how to share out my own live. Oh my God. Okay, there you go. I got it. I got it. I got it. I am sharing out my own live, y'all. Yes, I'm trying to get it. Yes. Okay. All right. So I shared it out. I shared it out. Um, I really want to talk. Oh boy. Y'all, here I go again. Every night I forget to turn on my do not disturb. I play too much because I know that's what my lives are about, showing the city and state. Oh, Darlene, I'm gonna have to do I follow you already, Darlene? Let me check and see. Cause I have to follow you, baby. Yeah, I'm following you. At least it looks like I am. Let me see. No, no, I am following you. I'm following you. I'm following you. Yeah, I just wanted to know because, sometimes if people don't have a public page, I won't request to follow them. But if they have one, and then I chat with everybody in the inbox, I do what I do, right? So, yeah. I do what I do. Welcome, 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 everybody. I see you watching. Say hello. Is that, you know what, y'all? Because of the light coming in. Hi, Annette. How are you? Did I see Candy Girl come up on here? I could have sworn I seen her. Nope, I don't see her. Maybe she is. Goody. Oh, yes, you are there. I knew I saw you come in. How you doing, honey? How are you? Hi, Annette. I see you. I see you. I see you. Are you hiding or are you healing? Are you hiding or are you healing is the topic for tonight. And I'm excited. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm excited. I am very, very excited. Um, just so y'all know, I just want to reintroduce myself for those that are coming in the room for the first time. If you're in here for the first time, just type new in the comments. Yes, I'm here. Hope you're well tonight. Yes, baby, I am amazing. Thank you, Marvel. I love that name. Marvel and like the comic books and stuff. I'm a big because I got sons, and my oldest son, of course, he was my first. He was my first, right? So I got him into everything. I used to get him all the Voltron. I used to get him all that kind of stuff. Of course, he tore it up, and it would have been a keepsake right now. But anywho, my oldest son, like, yeah, he had all of that stuff, and I'm very much into Marvel. And the other one, I watch all of them. We set movie dates, like literally, like we have a date to go to the movies anytime something new is coming out. It's so dope. Hey, Tanya, I see you. Hi, Terrence. Hey, I see you, sis. I see you. Yes, Kenya, how you doing, baby? I see you. New, I followed you, but new to your life. Laverne, I'm so glad you followed me. I am so glad you followed me, my love. Yes, I am. Yes, I am glad. I've been in the relationship coaching business for approximately 15 years. 13 officially. 15 before I actually had, my paperwork and went to school and all of that, right? So somewhere around about there, I've been doing coaching, and what I found out, just to give you like, a heads up about me, I found out that while I'm talking about the ways of meet your soulmate, and I'm talking about all these other things, it was wonderful and it was amazing. But the problem I found with that is that people are not healed. And when I look at social media, right? When I look at good night, yes. Oh, thank you so much for supporting, Darlene. Um, what I realized is that we could talk about relationships until we blue in the face, but if you're not healed, you're not gonna have a healthy relationship. And so while I see all of the gurus and they talking about, and everybody got their own platform, I think a lot of the work and the body of work that's being done out there is dope. I really do for the most part. But there are some very toxic people that are out there. Hey, keep it 100. I see you, my love. How are you? How are you, sis? How are you? So yeah, so what I do, um, keep it. I don't know if you got my message. I inboxed you, but check your inbox because I sent you a message because I wanted to know your name on FB, right? Yeah. So inbox me back and let me know what it is. Yeah, yeah. So I just think that until we heal, we're not going to get to the relationships that we really want to get to. And I'm not beating anybody down. I'm asking people hard questions because if healing is what you really want to do, if you want healthy and if you want happy, it requires that you do some of the work that's going to get you there. But it also requires that you have a boundary that's set up that if a person is not in alignment with your healing, with the body of work that you're doing within yourself, that you would run like Forrest Gump. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, for real. No, I could put a little laughter, hit the little button and all of that, but no, that's some serious business. Because if people are not working on themselves and they're bringing this into, and they're not even thinking about it. They haven't worked on their healing. They're negative. They got a negative mindset. They don't want the same things that you want. They are all over the place. Listen, let me just tell you something. Let's be clear that we do not in any way, shape, form, or fashion want to be tied to that. We don't. We don't want to be tied to it, right? And so it is vitally important that if you are going to get to where it is that you want to be, that you know, and let me give y'all some statistics. I'm gonna do that too. If you want a healthy, happy relationship, let me give you some statistics. I've been talking about this all week because it seems like it's necessary. If the debt, I'm sorry, if the ratio of men to women is 1 to 8, 8 to 1, right? There are 8 women. If that's true, for whatever the reason is, if that is absolutely true, and that they say that there's 8 women to every 1 man, let me break down the math for you and let me set you up for success right now. Two out of the 8 have tapped completely out of the game and are uninterested in being in a relationship, period. That leaves 6 women to 1 man, right? Then you got 2 out of that 6 that are left who are working on their business, or they're going to school, or they're doing something else with their lives, right? But they're fully engaged. One of them, which brings it down even more, maybe taking care of an aging parent, depending upon how old they are, or a parent that is busy and they are deeply involved in doing that. Let's say that leaves us with a 3 to 1 ratio, right? That's where we are. Because I want to help you to be able to understand what's really going on out here, right? That leaves 3 to 1. Out of the 3, one of them don't know how to talk to a man, is uninterested in her healing, but she wants a relationship and she's willing to do whatever it is that she needs to do in order to get one. She's not going to get what she wants, though, right? That leaves a 2 to 1 ratio. And I'm breaking this math down for y'all because I need for you to understand that there is no lack anywhere. There is only abundance, right? So out of the 2 women that are left, I need you to understand, again, that she may have whatever issue going on, bad attitude. She could be beautiful, drop dead gorgeous. She could have it going on, with all the accoutrements physically, but don't have the right attitude. She doesn't have the wife mentality, right? And I'm just saying this because I think that this is really important for women to understand when it comes down, when everything comes down to it, right? When it comes down to it, that leaves you. That leaves you. You understand? That leaves the woman who is left, who wants to heal, who wants to get better, who wants to attract real, genuine love into her life. How do I do that? How do I do that? The first thing that you do, the very first thing that you do is you have to sit with yourself and you have to gain some clarity about where you are, what you want, and what you need. That is going to require you to go back over the Rolodex in your mind of the things that you have encountered in your life. This is for both men and women. And make a conscious decision about what you need, what you can throw in the trash, right? And what you need in order to help you to become a better person, right? In order to help you have a healthy relationship. You need to determine, right, what your boundaries are. What are the things that are important to you, your core values? You need to determine for yourself, right, what it looks like. So most and generally in my classes, one of the first things I tell them to do is I tell them to write a story. And you wouldn't believe that's when people first come into my class, they can't even write a story. They be like, Kim, I don't know what to write. No, write a story about what you want your life to look like. And some people cannot write the story with any detail. They can say, oh, I want a new car, I want a house, I want a dog, I could see a dog, I could see my house, but that's it. There is no details in that. And when you don't understand what it is that you want and need, you can't go get it. The idea is write the vision and make it plain. Write it on tablets, and though it tarry, wait for it, right? When you know what you want, you can go after it. When you know what you want, you can have it. There is no lack. And I promise y'all, I just broke down the math and the science behind the idea. Now, you want to know what the other part of that is? When I talk about lack versus abundance, it's your mindset. Because I literally told you about 5 of those women, 2 have completely tapped out. The other 2 are working on what it is that they want for their own personal lives. Right. For your own personal life. They working on some stuff within their own life, right? Y'all got the picture. And so the person who is working on themselves and who has more clarity is the person that's gonna be the one that gets chosen. And I'm talking to my sisters. And it's important that you understand that the odds are in your favor when you work on yourself. Now, if you're not going to work on yourself, that's a whole nother talk show. I'm okay with that. Listen, I'm here to help. If you need me, holla. You know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of really where I am. That's what I do. I want to help my sisters and my brothers heal so that they can get to where it is that they truly want to be. Because here's the thing. We in 2025, and in my head and in my heart, I want people to begin to do the things that are going to net them what they want. And all you need is a strategy. That's all you need. What's the strategy? And the strategy is tied. I just got a flash go, y'all. And the strategy is tied to your healing. That is tied to all of it is. All of it. All of it. Right? Hey, Justin, I see you, my love. How are you, baby? It's all tied to that. So I know, okay, so I want to tell y'all this story because I think that this is so incredibly important, and I'm going to give some context to this, right? And that's what I'm doing, working on myself, periods. And I'm here for your assistance. I love it, Candy Girl. I love it, Candy Girl. I do. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm anointed and appointed for, right there. That part right there. Jen, I love you, sis. I love you. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. So yeah, that's what it's really truly all about. It's all about getting to healed so you can get to what it is that you truly desire. Period, period. I gotta plug in my phone, y'all. I didn't even realize. Uh, Good thing it's not in the other room, my charger. But yeah, so it's vitally important that we do this body of work. So last night I had y'all write down some questions, um, and I had wrote them all out. Hold on, I'm gonna bring them up. I'm gonna bring them up. I'm gonna bring them up. But I want to tell y'all the story, right? When I first separated from my husband, again, I'm prefacing everything I say about him. My husband happens to be an amazing dad. Me and him are cool. I pray for him all the time. He is remarried. He is a good person. He is not a treacherous person by any stretch of the imagination. Me and him just did not mix, and I'm okay with that. You understand? So I never ever am going to get on any social media platform and try to portray him as if he was a monster, because he was not. We just were not it for each other, and we were both very young, and we both did not know what we wanted. And that's what I'm leaving it as. When I was married, after this, when I separated from him, I was really hurt and I was really broken because I was grieving my marriage. I was grieving the relationship a little bit, but more I was grieving my marriage because I felt some kind of a way because my marriage failed, right? So I went through this whole thing where I was angry. I was frustrated. I couldn't believe, like, our kids, like, we a broken family. Like, I got married so I could have my kids, so that my kids would be, you know what I mean? Like, I went through this whole thing. I was like, I'm a wife. I'm not a girlfriend, right? I went through this whole entire thing in my head and in my heart. And I was really hurting. And what I ended up ultimately doing, if I could be honest with you, instead of working on healing in the immediate, we got separated in 1997. That's a long time ago. In 1997. And I probably spent the first 10 years angry and distracted. It wasn't hard for me to meet somebody because I don't have a problem meeting men, but I was still married. I still was like, I wasn't dealing with him at all, but I wasn't divorced, right? And I was hurting. So I stayed busy. I was working. I was doing all the things that I thought I needed to do. And what I was trying to do by dating someone else was trying to soothe my heart, because my heart was broken. And in fact, the guy that I dated, I think I dated him for like 10 years. He was so dope. We just dated, which I think is crazy. You don't date anybody for 10 years unless it's going somewhere, right? Am I really, Dextine? I'm telling your story. Oh my goodness. But the reality is, I was broken. I wasn't doing the body of work that I needed to do. I wasn't. I wasn't working on myself. I was just angry, mad, frustrated. And then I just got to this place of peace, but I still wasn't working on myself. I started reading books like Ayala Van Zant's In the Meantime. Like, what do you do? Right? That book, In the Meantime. Acts of Faith. I started reading all her work because I just fell in love with the way that she wrote and the way that she spoke to what I was going through. So I just began to start reading all of these books, right? And it was something that she wrote that just lifted me up out of the gutter in my own mind and made me feel better. Like, I don't have to stay in this condition. It's a choice, right? So sometime around like the 8th year of our separation and before our divorce, I had began to get it together. And I began to forgive him, and I began to forgive myself, and I began to then start the body of work that I needed to. Right, right, right. That's the same thing that happened with me, Dexine. That's the same thing that happened with me, right? So me going through that whole entire thing, I wasn't healing, I was hiding. I was distracted by a lot of things. I was hanging out with my friends. I was going into the city. I was doing when I tell y'all all the things, I was doing all the things, y'all. And I mean all of them. right? Partying, hanging out, having a good time, doing whatever. Yep, staying busy. There you go, Candy Girl. There you go. There you go. And so, as a direct result of me doing that, I wasn't really dealing with myself. And the fortunate thing is, I had kids that was old enough, like to keep my baby boy. So, like, if I wanted to like go straight from work and go hang out, I could. Because there's an 11-year difference between the oldest and the baby. And by the time me and him separated, my son was about 4 or 5 years old. You understand? So I was hanging out everywhere. I was at One Fish, Two Fish. I was at Under the Stairs. Sometimes we would go to the Shadow. Sometimes we would be at Perks Uptown. I was just doing it. I mean, doing the most, right? And it was all the time. I remember one year, and I'm just going to give you guys an idea, not because I want to stay here, but just to give you a small idea. In one year, I must have been home maybe 4 weekends the entire year. The entire year. That's how much I was hanging, trying to numb the pain that I was feeling. So my house was clean, everything was done, because I would do it on a Thursday or Wednesday or whatever. But I literally was trying to numb the pain that I was feeling, and I did it by hanging out with the people from my job. Oh, thank you, Big Mac Chris. I see you. Thank you. Thank you for gifting me. Thank you for joining my team. Yeah, just trying to numb it, because like, what am I going to do? Hey, Telly Tell, I love you. I love you, sissy. Look, my sis is here. She in the building. Yes, she is. Y'all got to follow her. You got to follow her. She is dope. She is amazing. She coaches, right? And me and her are friends. She just coaches, and she helps me all the time, and she just loves me, and I just love her back, right? Yes. Yes. So with that being said, right, talking about the things and how oh my God, I don't know if y'all can hear my washing machine. It is making so much noise. It's so ridiculous. But the reason why I think that this is important is because sometimes we're not working on our healing. Sometimes we're hiding. Sometimes we stay in the house. You heard it tell. Oh my God. You know what it sounds like. You know what it sounds like, Chantel. You know what it sounds like. That's horrible, right? Oh my God. But the reason why this is so very important, and I'm saying this to y'all, is because a lot of times we spend a lot of time distracting ourselves from what it is that we need to get to. And we will do everything. We will volunteer at the soup kitchen. We will go to church, which is a wonderful place to be. We will go out with our girlfriends to lunch and to dinner. We will do I've been doing that. Yep. Anything to numb the pain, anything to keep us distracted from dealing with us. I was talking to a young lady maybe 4 or 5 days ago, and what she said to me was that she does this, she does that, she takes care of her cousin, she runs over here, and her family is, whatever, driving her crazy or whatever, right? And I'm talking to her, but I'm like, but sis, what do you want and what do you need? Because you see how easy it is to get caught up, and you want to be distracted from dealing with you. You want to be distracted because it's too much sometimes to deal with the hurt that you really feeling in your heart. And I overstand it. Trust me when I tell you I overstand it. I really, really do. And so I wanted to talk about that tonight, because it matters if you're really doing the work or not. And a lot of times, we're not doing the work. We're not doing anything. We're just coasting along, trying to figure it all out as we go. Right? Hey, Leslie, I see you. Right? I remember doing a lot of journaling. I remember reading a lot. I remember a lot of tears. Right? And that's all good. That's all good. But I promise you, there are some signs that you're hiding and you're not healing. One of which is you just trying to stay busy to avoid being still. You're in constant hustle mode, distracted, or so productive. You're always like, let's say, I'm gonna stay at work extra. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be fully engaged. I'm gonna do this, that. Hi, Tosh. I see you, baby. I'm gonna do everything in my power. And the other part of that is you fear silence. You can't be still mentally. Being still makes you feel like, you're drowning. You don't want to be like, oh God, I don't know. And so you're gonna call somebody on the phone. You're gonna talk to your friends for hours and hours and hours because you don't want to be alone. Right? Because the silence, if I'm honest with you, the silence can be very, very loud. I've been in that situation where the silence was like really seriously drowning me out. The other part is that sometimes we intellectualize our pain instead of allowing ourselves to feel it. I remember, and this just happened to me, I'm being honest, like Mother's Day, right? My mom passed away in 2019, but Mother's Day, just Mother's Day, right? I was sitting, I got up in the morning, I was kind of sad, but then all of a sudden I started leaking, like tears just started rolling down my face, and I'm kind of chuckling because I said to myself out loud, what are you crying for? Your mother is good. Mommy is good. Mommy is good. Why are you crying? And I went, blah, and then I just started bawling out. And I was like trying to talk myself off the ledge, like trying to make it make sense. But your grief is your grief. And I use my mother, but losing in a relationship, there's grief tied to that. When you break up with a person you thought was going to be your forever love, with somebody you poured so much into and it didn't work anyhow, right? Like when you break up with them, that's grieving. That's like a death. I mean, it's not as permanent, but what makes it almost worse than a natural death is the fact that they still walking around and they over there and they doing something with somebody else, or you don't know what they're doing, right? So you try to intellectualize the pain. I just did that. I was trying to tell myself, don't cry. I needed to cry. And I needed to get it out, and I needed to give myself permission to feel whatever it is that I needed to feel in that moment. But sometimes I don't have my coach hat on. I got on my human being hat. I got on the daughter hat. That was my mother, and she was fire. She was dope. She was amazing. She was wonderful. And she was a feisty old lady. And I miss her sorely. And it's okay to grieve the relationship. And don't try to intellectualize everything. Because what happens is you don't give yourself permission to grieve and to begin the work of letting it go. Right? Hey, Lamarck, I see you. You have feelings too, Miss Kim. It's okay. Yeah, and I don't know why I was saying that, and I kept saying, "Stop crying. What's wrong with you?" Like literally, it was ridiculous. And then I decided to drive. Me and my sister are gonna go to the cemetery, right? And I decided to drive, right? Knowing my sister always drives, and now I'm on the parkway. And I am like, I don't know why I drove. I don't feel good. And I just started crying. I don't even know how I drove for like the next 3 minutes. Like, because I was like, I was just crying hysterically. And my sister was just looking at me. And we went and put roses out for my mom. But I want you to stop trying to intellectualize your pain and allow yourself to feel what you're going through. It'll help you to get over it quicker when you stop trying to suppress it. Hey, Lamarck, salute to everybody in the chat. I'm here to engage and support. You dig? Mark, I went to your page. I love your content. You are hilarious. Y'all gotta follow Mark because Mark is hilarious. And I'm not one of them places like if I like what you got going on, I'm definitely gonna stay in contact and I'm definitely gonna support. But I say that because we were in another place together with Dr. Lisa. She teaches you all about TikTok. And because of that, now that me and Mark became friends, and now I'm following Mark, and I went to his page to check out his page. I will follow you back, but if you have a private page, I'm probably not going to request it unless you really be here every day. Then I'll request to follow you because I want to interact with you outside of just my lives. We could talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's your clothing line. I didn't realize you had. Okay, I'm gonna check that out. Okay, Lamar. Yeah. All right. Definitely. I'm gonna check it out. I'm doing that now. I have stopped working so much so I can start enjoying my life. Yeah. Because before you know it, years and years have passed by and you have not started living because you haven't done the work on healing. You haven't done that. Like, not you per se. You know, I'm talking about period. Anybody, right? So I think that's, hey, cousin, I see you, brown girl, I see you. Yeah. So, yeah, we have to absolutely work on some of the things that's been keeping us in bondage and keeping us on lock and not allowing us to be fully engaged in who we are, what we want, and what we need, right? Hi, Tonette. Thanks for the follow, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, cousin, I love you. I've been missing you on here. I've been missing you. Here's the thing. What I want you to do, and I want you to really think about this and process this, right? I want you to grieve what you're feeling without trying to attach anything to it. And it's okay to grieve the version of the person that you fell in love with. I need you to understand that. Because people change. People are evolving, and they don't necessarily evolve for the better. There are some people that will sabotage their relationship straight out because they don't have the capacity. But at the same time, I don't want you to attach your pain to like the trauma, right? At the same time, while you're trying to grieve it and let it go, grieve what you need to grieve, but do not. Hey, DJ Country Boy, DJ Country, you know I'm a zombie. Okay, you already know because we talked about that last night. DJ Country, I see you. I see you. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? And I know that men approach this thing from a totally different perspective because some men don't talk about it and they hurt too, right? But the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying to you is because you can grieve it and still not attach yourself to the outcome of what you thought. Like you might have wanted it to be a thing and it's never going to be that thing. And it's okay to grieve it and then to let it go and not try to intellectualize what happened, right? Or your pain. It just is what it is and you're allowed to feel it. You're allowed to feel it. You call it forgiveness, but you never acknowledge the hurt. Let's talk about that. I forgive them. I forgive them. No, I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. I forgive them. I forgive them. But you still need to acknowledge how you feel. So these are things that say that you're hiding behind like what is really happening and what's really going on in your mind, right? You don't want to do that. You don't want to hide. You want to heal. So don't hide the fact that you're hurting. Don't say I forgive them and never acknowledge that they hurt you. Don't do that. If you hurt, say you hurt. But what I don't want you to do is continue to tell the story to everybody who listen, because what you're going to do is then you're rehearsing the pain. Because they did this, they did that, and then they did this, and then they did that, and then they kicked the dog. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You have to want to heal, right? I know one thing that I did. I wore a mask and I presented myself as being strong when I was really broken on the inside. And I just didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want anybody to know that I was hurting as much as I was hurting. And in doing that, you cheat yourself because you say things like, I'm good. You're not good. You're not good. You weren't good. You're going to be good, but you weren't good, right? So don't try to suppress it. Just let it fly. You avoid triggers instead of transforming them. I think that just happened to me the other day. I'm like, ouch. Actually, it did. And I'll tell y'all about that tomorrow because I'm not going to talk about it right now. I ain't even ready. I told y'all I'm on this journey right along with y'all. I'm on this journey right along with y'all, and I really mean that. I can attest to that, smiling on the outside and was crying on the inside. Yes. One time, this is years ago because it's been a long time since me and my husband separated. But one time I was at my girlfriend's house, and she lives like in the next section of the same town. But it's about a mile and a half walk from my house. And I rode over there with my girlfriends, and everybody was sitting around the pool. And I was around everybody. We were just sitting outside in her backyard and chilling. She got a beautiful home, all this other stuff. And I'm doing all of that. And I was sitting there amongst all these people, and my heart was broken. I was so sad. I literally got up and left, and I ain't tell them I was leaving. And I walked all the way home. I was so hurt. And a mile and a half, 2 miles is not far to walk home. But they didn't even know I was leaving. And I just wanted to bust out crying in front of all of these people because my heart was broken. But instead, I just got up and I left. And they weren't triggering me or anything because I know we're talking about, triggers. But it was a matter of me just being so lost in that place at the time. I didn't even know how to fix it. I didn't know how to fix me. I didn't even know what I needed or what I wanted, right? You say, yes, ma'am, that has happened to me with my family. Yeah. Like, I gotta go. Let me tell you what real healing looks like. Facing the truth, even when it's uncomfortable. That's what it looks like. I'm pausing because I'll be having these little Selah moments. Grieving what you lost, even if it wasn't your choice. This is what real healing looks like. Being honest about your pain. Sitting with your emotions. Now, I got on here last night. If y'all see me being like so direct and like going through these stuff, because last night we did not talk about anything I have written down. Not one thing did we talk about. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to come back with the same topic. Then I was like, no, let's move on. And then, maybe I'll bring it back next week or something. But no, we just going to move on. Because y'all remember, we was on here having such a good time. Right, that and just talking, and it was a flow. It was just like a natural flow, and it was just going and doing what it was doing. I never even really talked about what I was getting on here to talk about last night. It was so hilarious. But sitting with your emotions and not trying to numb them, right? And based on the lessons that you've learned from that relationship, you begin to set boundaries from a place of respect and not fear. Because when you're afraid and you set boundaries, they don't look like boundaries. They look like electrified fences. That's what they look like. Like tall, with barbed wire, and if you touch them, you're gonna get electrocuted. Like that's what it looks like. you know, you get what I'm saying? So there's one thing to erect fences, but then boundaries. Erected fences are rooted in fear, but boundaries are rooted in not numbing them. They're rooted in a place of self-respect, honor, core values, understanding your worth. Yeah, that. The other thing that really looks like healing is owning what you do, your patterns, and not attaching any guilt to it, not attaching any pain, but own what you do and own what you've done. You're not a victim. And that's when I begin to really understand that, that's when my healing journey began. Can I tell y'all something? Real talk. I talk about this stuff because I feel like it's necessary. But the reality of the situation is that in order for us to get to where it is that we really truly want to be, we're going to have to be honest. And that's how I work through my healing. Because I really got honest with myself, and I started taking responsibility for what I did and also what I didn't do. And I wasn't ashamed of that, because you didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. So when you don't know better, then you do things that are out of alignment with who you really truly want to be, because you don't know any better. But along with me owning my patterns, I also realized that with that, taking responsibility and all the things, that I was taking back my power, because I felt better about who I was when I did that. I felt better about the way that my life was going and flowing, right? Hey, sis, I see you. I see you, Bugs. Y'all, I got something. Okay. I'm having an eye issue. You understand what I'm saying? Like, when you own your stuff, you begin to heal everything. Like, when you begin to take responsibility for the role that you played, for what you allowed, for the times that you didn't stand up for yourself. Like, I say that now and I could almost cry, because I did a lot of things that did not align with who I was. Right? And at first I was blaming. At first I was saying, look what he did to me. Look what he did to me. And the truth is, I chose him. I let it wait. I not only cracked the door open, like I opened the door wide and said, come on in. Sure, let's do this. Right? But again, I did not even begin to understand what I was doing, because I didn't even know who I was. So I forgave myself. So there's no shame attached to that. I forgave myself, right? And I believe that when you begin to forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know, you set yourself up to take back your power. You set yourself up to live a life that is amazing, right? So now when people do things, or people hurt my feelings, or I might get a tad bit upset with them, I always revert back to myself, because I'm not going to allow what they did to control me. I'm not giving my power away. I'm not doing it. Not for 2 seconds. And I'm going to keep moving. I'm not sitting in that. I'm not going to ever be a victim ever again in my life. Kim, okay, so how, because I need to take it back. Let me grab a hold of this. Let me look at the role that I played in this. Did I forgive? Was I too kind? Was I too gracious? And I don't think there's any such a thing as being too kind and too gracious. But what was it about them that I was so attracted to? Why was I so caught up? Why did I let myself get caught up? Right? And when I begin to think about that, then it brings me back to this place of peace. Right? It brings me back to this place of peace. And it gives me back my power, because then the next thing I say to myself, I'm not dealing with that anymore. I'm not ever gonna let myself deal with that again. And I'm gonna recognize it for what it is, so I don't find myself back in that place again. I tell you, the only L's I have ever taken was lessons. I've never taken a loss. I used to think I was losing, but I've never lost anybody except for my mom, and then she's not even lost because I know where she is. I've never lost anyone, and neither have you. I want you to really process that and think about that. They walked away. They didn't know how to love you. They did you a favor. They didn't treat you right. Good thing you learned when you did. I always try to find the positive in that thing so that I can move forward in my life. I cannot hold on to memories of a ghost of somebody from my past and then think that the next person is going to do the same thing. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's why we have to really lean into our own healing so that we can garner our own strength, so that we can show up in places and in spaces as our authentic selves, not ashamed. Because I did, like, if everybody knew my backstory, they'd be like, oh, Kim, that's kind of deep and heavy. But guess what? Who doesn't have a backstory? Who doesn't? We all got a backstory. There's always some foolishness. Hey, Seti said, I see you. How are you? I see you. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Who don't have a backstory? Who doesn't have something in their lives that they carry around that kind of feels shameful and you may not want everybody to know? But that's the thing that keeps you in the darkness. I'm not staying in the dark. I'm not afraid to tell my story. I'm not afraid to tell, and I used to be, and Chantel Holly can tell you about it. Chantel, the growth coach, can tell you. Because that's my sister and my friend. Hear me when I tell you. You know how you were afraid that, somebody gonna know that your life was crazy when you was a teenager? So what? Whose life wasn't crazy when they were a teenager? Who wasn't dealing with stuff in their lives? Like, who? So there's no shame attached to that. I dare somebody to say something about somebody else and not talk about what happened in their own lives. I dare somebody. Because none of us are above it. And if it hasn't happened to you, it could still happen to you. Right? Or somebody in your family. We've all got our own story to tell. We have all got our own stories to tell. There are books inside of people, novels, because none of us are exempt from going through what we go through. The whole idea is, how do you handle it? How do you handle it? How do you get through it? What are you doing? Right? What do you want with your life? Right? And that's the truth. And so if what you want is success, then that's one of the things that we really truly need to work on. I want to be successful in my relationships. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on me. I'm going to work on becoming a better version of myself. Period. You understand? Because it doesn't. Y'all tap on that screen. Tap on that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Yes. Because that's what it's really, truly all about. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, we need to face the truth about who we are so we can get over it, so that we can become all that God wants us to become. Stop hiding. It's time to heal. Like, no, I'm good. I'm good. No, I don't need anything. No, I'm good. I'm good. You know what we do when we unhealed? Some of us, not all of us, and It might be a small percentage. We people please. When we're not healed, when we don't think better of ourselves, we try to incorporate ourselves into pouring into other people when we need to be pouring into ourselves. Thank you for joining my team, Darlene. We people please. We do the most for everybody and don't pour anything into ourselves. Because a part of us may not even feel like we deserve it. And that's the truth. So we're kind and gracious to other people, but not kind and gracious to ourselves. Good evening, good evening. Good evening, Darlene. Thank you for the daily heartbeat. Yeah. So we're always being gracious and kind to other people, but not being gracious and kind to ourselves. How does that work? How does that get us to where it is that we want to be? The only way that you're going to get to where it is that you want to be is to begin to love yourself. And stand 10 toes down in that for you. Because you are important. How many of y'all who were on last night wrote down the affirmations that I gave y'all? How many of y'all that were on last night wrote down the affirmations? Because they were really good. They were really good. So I shared with y'all last night, right? How to begin, right? From hiding to healing. So I'm going to talk about it again. I told you to name it, take the Band-Aid off. Take the Band-Aid off, let it get some air. When you get to the root of a thing, literally, when you get to the root of the thing and you pull it up by the root, it doesn't have any more power over you. When you name what's really bothering you, you take away its power. Let me break that down a little bit more. When something triggers you and you get upset by it, right? Yes. Darlene is like, hey, everybody. Hey. Darlene is in here engaging with everybody. Darlene, I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. That shows me a lot about who you are. Yes. 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 Relatable 101. Yes. Hello. I hear you. Look at Darlene. Darlene is like, hey. So when you go through all of the stuff that you go through, and I began to talk about like the Band-Aid, like getting to the root of what triggers you, like let's keep it real. Let's like really talk about that. You're having a conversation with somebody, they say something, it triggers you, you get angry, you get frustrated, or you stop talking, and because you don't want to say too much. So I'm going here for a reason. And so if you deal with what you've been avoiding, it'll help you when you name it. If you want to begin to heal instead of hide, begin to not only be truthful with yourself, but name that thing. Oh, I understand. I told y'all the story about my father passing away when I was 16 years old. And all of these years, up until sometime last year, I always said that I was an abandoned child because my father died. I promise. It was just the craziest thing. And last year, I was praying. I don't even know what I was doing. I really wasn't doing anything around my dad. I wasn't even thinking about it. But I promise I heard the voice of the Lord say to me, he didn't abandon you. And I said, huh? Like I did like that, right? And again, he didn't abandon you, right? And it made, and I knew he was talking about my father because Holy Spirit was speaking and I heard it, right? It wasn't an audible voice. I heard it. I heard the Spirit of the Lord talking to me. And the reason why I'm talking about this right now is because for all of these years, since I've been 16, 17 years old, I have been walking around like an abandoned child. I took on all the characteristics of a child that had been abandoned. And guess what? My father just passed away. He didn't walk out on me. He didn't leave me. I was always with him. He was funny. He was hilariously funny. He was a happy drunk. He was an alcoholic, right? But he was a happy drunk. He wasn't a mean drunk, So he was happy and he was always jolly and telling jokes and he was just a good dude, right? But I carried around the persona of an abandoned child. And that's what ruled my life and how I dealt with people. Because I always thought self-sabotaging behavior, right? Let's talk about that. I always thought if my father abandoned me, that was my lead. That was the voice in my head. If my father abandoned me, why wouldn't anybody else? Do y'all get what I'm saying? It's the stories and the lies that we tell ourselves. I need some water, y'all. Hold on. Ooh, wee. I had a tickle. I had a tickle in my throat. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because those feelings were in me because that's how I felt. But that was a lie. Mind you, I'm not telling y'all how old I am, but I was 16, 17 years old when I took on the persona of abandonment. So I have been walking around here all of these years feeling like I was abandoned. And it wasn't until God revealed to me that that it changed my entire perspective. And last night I was talking about confidence, right? We were talking about confidence and we were talking about boldness, right? And how you build your confidence, right? Do you know that it made me even more confident than I was when I realized that, that I wasn't abandoned? Because I was already becoming confident in my own self, but with the persona of an abandoned child. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because we carry this weight. We carry the residue of our past into our new relationships. And we expect, because that's not how they feel about us, but we carry it around because that's how we feel about us. But when you acknowledge a thing, guess what? Now that thing don't have no power over me anymore. I was like, I was never abandoned. I always had a good dad. He was good. He was hilarious. I wish he would have stopped drinking because that's literally what killed him. But because he was a happy drunk and he was a social drunk, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess back in them days, it was okay. No, it wasn't okay. Daddy, you left me and I needed you. That was my mindset. But when you dig deep and you pull that thing up from the root, it does not have the same power over you. It doesn't. You literally are set free from shenanigans, from seeing yourself in that way, right? Because so now you can take, like, wait a minute, no, okay, that's not who I am, that's a lie. And so now you look at yourself differently. Do you understand that whole thing changed the lens through which I look even at my own self? And I already had like this boldness because I walk with God, you know what I'm saying? I already had this boldness, but that piece was missing from me. It's the piece that says I wasn't good enough, Daddy, for you to stop drinking. You didn't think I was worth it. I wasn't enough. And we carry that weight, and then we carry it into relationships, and then we expect other people to deal with that. And so now if somebody's drinking or something happens, then you get triggered. Let me get back to the triggers, right? You get triggered, and you don't even understand why you triggered, right? So so now if you get to the root of why this thing keeps triggering you over and over and over again, it then begins to change how you deal with things. Hey, Chris, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the roses. I appreciate you. Yes. Hi, Seed of Abraham. How you doing? I see you. How you doing? Yeah. So you see what I'm saying? So it's important. Thank you so much for the daily heart. I appreciate you being on my team. Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying, I'm glad. I am so glad. I'm glad you're doing good. But the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because it caused me to behave in ways and triggered me all of this time. Like, you ain't gonna stay around. Nobody does. My own father. Like, I wouldn't say it, but it was in my head until God delivered me from that. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. And once I got to the root and I understood where it was coming from, pull that thing right out the ground. Pulled it right out the ground. It has no power anymore. So we have to name the thing that's triggering us, and we got to start there. Why is it bothering you? So every night I get on, you self-sabotage. There you go. Self-sabotage, right? And so every night I get on and I ask some hard questions. And I ask you guys to answer the question of yourself. You don't have to make a public service announcement. Just sit with it. Are you sabotaging your relationship because of past hurt and pain? Are there people who are genuinely interested in you, but you're so busy hiding and not working on your healing that you literally are cheating yourself from having a great relationship? Are you still holding on to the regret? Thank you, Chris. Thank you. You sent me corn, ice cream, and I'm hungry. You play too much, Chris. You play too much. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Thank you. Right? Are you hiding because of something that happened, like, in your past? Oh, you the title gifter, Chris. Okay, thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. Are you hiding? Are you afraid? If the right person came into your life right now, would you be ready? Have you done the work on yourself? I just ask a few hard questions. I don't go crazy. I just we ain't doing no PSAs. We just writing this down and answering the questions. You'll be ready for what, Chris? What are you ready for? Because I keep forgiving my narcissistic brother. I know he's trying, but he keeps making the same mistakes. I got you. Well, you said you wouldn't be ready, Tanya. Hi, Miss Sid. How you doing, beautiful? I see you. Mistakes. Why do I always have to be the bigger person? I got you. Because you're called to be. You're called to be. Because you know better. Because people who know better just do the right things. That's why. Miss Sid said, I'm ready. I'm ready. Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. I just, so I'm on here talking about healing and not sabotaging any hopes of having a real relationship. And I'm also talking about, are you hiding or are you healing? So that's the topic for tonight, right? Because sometimes we say we're healing, but we're really hiding. And if we get real honest with ourselves, then it'll change the entire game for us, right? I think I'm ready. Dextine said, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Chris said, I'm hiding. Chris, why are you hiding? Mrs. said, I'm still healing and feeling stronger. Absolutely. And let me say this to Miss Sid. Like, let me say this to you. And I really mean this because I think that this is really important. I think that you can practice with the people that are around you to see that if you are ready or not. You can begin to slightly open up and allow yourself to be a little bit vulnerable. I'm not saying just open up, and just let somebody, no, I'm not saying that. But you want to test the waters. You want to see if you're ready because you're never going to know if you're ready if you're not in the game. Right. And so you said trying. Hold on. I want to look at the comments. Please pray for me. I'm going to have a face-to-face talk with my 38-year-old man-child brother, but I see he's trying. Yeah, and be patient with him. Be patient with him. Because if he's trying, then he's on the right path. And I'm not saying go all out, Ms. Sid. I'm not saying like just let him. No, I'm not saying that. You have to test your own mettle. You have to see if you're ready, right? Because you say I'm ready, but I'm not sure, right? Like, so you got to figure out like what it is for you. Just be wise who you open. Exact. There you go, seed of Abraham. There you go. There you go. And I think that vulnerability, you could test the waters, you can vet people without telling them everything. Look, Candy Girl said it's scary. It doesn't have to be. I wonder how many people, by a show of comments, just yes or no, I guess, in the comment section, how many people literally have good friends, like somebody that they can count on. Like, how many of y'all, show of hands, do you have any one person in your life of a opposite sex persuasion that you can really lean on? Okay, all right, right. Practice with them. Practice with them. I practice with my kids. I practice with my sisters. I practice with my male friends. I really talk to them. Right? I practice with my female friends. With my female friends, they already know they getting it. Like if we close like that and you're in the immediate circle, yeah, I'm just gonna be, oh girl, da 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 da, right? But I'm telling you, practice. Because what you need to know, what you need to do is you need to become good at communicating. You need to become good at opening up. You have to allow yourself, even if it's baby steps, to be vulnerable. Even if it's baby steps, you have to allow yourself at some point, and I'm talking about slow incremental steps. Don't just start throwing up on people, verbally, you know what I mean, telling them everything. No, just slowly go through the process and slowly let it eke out whatever you feel like talking about, and see if they can have the capacity to hold space for you. And if you go out on a date, you don't have to tell them everything. You say, I'm working on myself. In fact, if you say I'm working on myself, you're more likely to get a second date versus people who are not doing any work. Because when a person knows that you're working on yourself, you even go into therapy or you got a coach or whatever, you're more likely to go out on a second date. You can Google that at your leisure. But people who think I got it all together and I don't need any work, those are the people that you ought to be running from. From those who won't even say, is that, hey, Susie, hey, I see you, baby. How are you, Susan? How are you? Y'all got to follow her. She makes the most amazing candles. You got to follow her. She makes this vanilla candle that is out of this world. Y'all got to follow her. Y'all have to follow her. Yes, because she is really getting on top of her game with her candles. And she's been doing it for a while now. And she's starting to promote her stuff. Y'all got to follow her and support her. Support my sister. Support her. Yes, 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 yes. So swipe her right. You be swiping right? Swiper. Thank you for the follow. I see you. But you understand what I'm saying? You have to slowly allow yourself to be open to somebody before you have success in relationships. It doesn't work any other way. You know what I mean? You have to. You absolutely have to. Otherwise, how do you get to a good relationship if you're so afraid? You have to practice. So you know what I do? I'm always praying. I stay praying, And what I do is I just ask God to help me, because you need wisdom and discernment, because everybody, first of all, number one, is not worthy of you. I don't care how fly, I don't care how much money, I don't care. Everybody is not worthy of you. And that's for the brothers and the sisters. Let me be clear. Everybody shouldn't even be in your company. That's how dope you are. Y'all heard what I said. I need y'all to hear what I'm saying. After all you've been through, The last thing you want to do is find yourself hanging out with people who do not have anything to lose, that are low hanging fruit, that are not about anything, that don't want anything, because all they're going to bring you is hurt. That's for my brothers and my sisters. You understand? Because a lot of times brothers be like, oh, yo, but she cute though. But do she got any substance? And my sisters be like, he fine, but do he have, hey, Exquisite, I see you, my love. I see you, sissy. What's up? Y'all got to follow Exquisite. She's dope. She's beautiful. She is dope. Y'all got to follow her. You got to follow her. Follow her. She is so amazing. Thank you for the daily heart me, my love. Yeah. The reason why this is so important is because if you don't, you're going to stay by yourself pretty much for the rest of your life. If you're afraid to let anybody in. So what's worse? Being by yourself for the rest of your life or taking a chance. Taking a chance. Getting in alignment with what you want and what you need. Yes. Thank you, Exquisite. Thank you, my love. Thank you. #1 gifter badge. I love that. Thank you, baby. Thank you. With a hand heart. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I still can't do that thing. But anyway, yeah. So when you think about that, no, it's time to get everything together because we in 2025, baby. Like, we're not getting no younger. It's time to get these things worked out so we can get to where it is that we want to be. Because I promise you, I do not want to spend the rest of my life alone. I don't. But I also will promise you that I'm not taking just any old body in my life because I know my worth and my value. And I'm not going to do it. Right? If I'm going to do that, I might as well be by myself. Because if it's not going to be in alignment, then what am I doing anyway? Candy Girl, I want to hear all about this, honey. I want to hear about it. You're going to have to tell me. You have to inbox me. You're going to have to tell me what's really going on because I want to hear how it goes for you. I'm 55 years old, 56 this year. I'm going to try it. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, just open yourself up to the possibilities. So one of my good friends was on last night watching the live. It was like 102 people on the live. It was just amazing. I couldn't even believe it was that many people on the live last night, but it was dope. And she said to me, Kim, I don't know how we got on the subject, but she was more or less saying to me, you know, Kim, these guys out here, they know good. And I still haven't met, and I'm paraphrasing. That's not her exact words. I'm paraphrasing. But the point I'm trying to get to is this. Your mindset is what's going to set things in motion for you in your life. The way that you think about other people, the way that you think about yourself. And I said to her, I don't know who you've been meeting because there is an abundance of men out here. There's an abundance of single men. There are men that women walk by every single day, right? And she says, well, the area I live in, it's like, I want to go out with somebody, that kind of thing, y'all got it, right? And I said to her, okay, so go where they are. You don't live in that neighborhood? Okay, so go where they are. No, I guess you're right. I said, no, I'm not convinced that you know that I'm right. And I'm not trying to say that just because I want her to say that I'm right. That's not what I'm doing. There is only an abundance of what it is that you want and you need. I promise you. And the math proves it out. When I sit there and I do the math, which like if you believe that there's nobody out here for you, then no, there's not. Change your mindset. And that's how we end up hiding because we speak contrary to what's actually happening and going on out here. I had to change the superficial mindset. I just want to be treated right. That's it. Absolutely. Because you find out as you begin to age that get older, whatever, the things that we liked when we were 25 are not even important at the age we are now, right? I want you to treat me good. What does that mean exactly? What does treating you good look like? What does it look like? Right? What are some of the things that you really want for your life? And this is for men and women. Because as long as you don't believe, right, it doesn't exist for you. And you'll never find it. The other night, I told y'all, and I'm only going to do this in my sub. I'm only going to do this in my sub. If you're a subscriber, that's the only way I'm doing this. I'm going to break down the science of feast or famine. I'm going to break down the science of feast or famine. Because it really is some science behind that. And I'm not trying to be funny. There is science behind feast or famine. When you are with somebody and then everybody comes out of the woodwork and now everybody's trying to talk to you, versus when you're single and you're not meeting a lot of people. There's math behind that. There's science. Not at all. Love, respect, and stability with God first. Absolutely exquisite. Exactly. That's what's important, and in that order. Thank you. And in that order, with God first. Thank you. Right? But it's important to understand that there is some science behind feast or famine. When you're with someone versus and how you get treated, and not everybody is flocking to you, versus nobody's showing up. You've been single for 6 months and you haven't met anybody. Can I let you in on something? It's just your energy. That's what always happens. It's your energy. And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, it literally is. You exude a different energy when you're in a relationship, and then everybody starts coming, because everybody wants to come to the light. You are emanating this love that you're feeling inside, right? And when you're single, you don't emanate in the same way. It doesn't come through. It doesn't, the energy is not emanating in the same way. And people are, they don't come to you like they do when somebody's in your life. And I literally, y'all know this because y'all seen it. When you in love, everybody is like, whoa, you glowing. Oh my God. Even men get many more women trying to holler at them when they get into a relationship, because they feel good. They exude a different energy. Right? It's the truth. And so I can tell you, when they're not in a relationship, they don't meet nearly as many women. In fact, they don't approach as many women either. A lot of married men approach women, or men that are already in relationships, they approach women. That's easy because they figure, if I get rejected, like, I ain't tripping. I got somebody at home anyway. But to be the guys on the sideline, to be in the mall as you walking through and you coming out of whatever store you in, and you got your little bags, and he be watching you, and you might catch his eye and you might turn and look away. He checking for you. And he's single. And he don't have the courage to come up to you and talk to you, because he's like, oh my God, especially if you're with your girlfriends, he's not going to do that. But if you walking in the mall and you chilling, right? I tell women, stay off your phone. You want to meet somebody, stay off your phone. Go in Home Depot, stay off your phone. Right? When people go hi, you say hello back. You don't turn and look away like, oh my God, I'm so afraid. Like, no, I'm serious. There is some science behind this. Right? And so the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because I could teach you how to replicate that same energy. And it's so simple. It's so simple. You just have to recreate the love that you feel when you're getting poured into from another person. You have to recreate that for yourself. That's all it is. And you become a magnet. Both men and women. You become a magnet. Everybody wants to be around you. You have a certain level of charisma. You got like this way about you, and people are attracted to it. It's science. It really is. I'm not kidding you. And so, how do you replicate that? How do you replicate that? Right? So, a lot of people don't know how to do that. But I'm going to tell you right now, is by pouring into yourself in the same way that you report or that you would get if you were in a relationship. It's your energy. I said that already. But when you begin to pour in to yourself, the way you would pour into a loving relationship, you flip the switch. You flip the switch. And I'm not telling you it's an easy process, but I'm telling you that's what it is. There's a certain confidence that a man has when he has a good woman at home that all the women were like, wait a minute, how does a man replicate that? I'm serious. Like, I know, but I'm asking the question. Because what you end up ultimately doing when you replicate that energy and you feel like King Kong because you just had the best, horizontal mambo experience and you feel like you on top of the world, replicate that. The energy that you exude from that is attractive to other women on the low. She don't even know why she's attracted to you, but you're more confident. That's the same thing for women. When a woman is loved, she shows up different. You be like, sis, you glowing. You got a boo or something? No, you got a boo. You doing something because you glowing, sis. I see you. You glowing. Don't we do that? We definitely do that. We definitely do that. You see it. They look different. Their countenance looks different. Absolutely. And when you don't have anybody in your life, nobody wants to talk to you. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you be like, well, Dag, where was all of it? Like, what was happening before? It's the energy. And we don't always realize that that's what it is. We somehow, some kind of way, got it a little messed up. And we don't know how to replicate that energy. Right? Because that's really what it is. When a woman feels loved, she shows up different. When a man feels loved, he shows up different. So all it's about is just doing that. Right? I'm telling you, it is so, this thing here is so important. Because what it requires in order for you to shift the energy is to begin the work. I'm going to start replicating. That's what I'm saying. Replicate it. It draws people to you. Listen, it really draws people to you, but it's an inside job. And that's the thing that people don't understand. Let me tell you something. If people clapping for you is what drives you and what makes you feel good about yourself, the moment they stop clapping, you're no longer going to feel good about yourself. That's why that cannot be the basis from where your health and your wealth and your joy and your peace comes from. Right? It can't be the basis of that. You have to really literally learn how to literally create that for yourself, for both men and women. You have to learn how to create it. And it begins, it's an inside job. Because the minute a person and you don't work out and they're gone, you could have just met them and you feeling really good about this and everything. And that's why you're exuding that energy. And the minute things don't begin to work out or they're not in alignment or they're not, you understand what I'm saying? Now you are down in the dumps. No, when you replicate it for yourself, you begin to live it out every day. And can I be honest with you? The sky is the limit. I mean, you could do this, replicate it in the boardroom. You can replicate it amongst your friends. You can replicate it when you're going into restaurants and into diners, and you go in places people are drawn to you and they don't even know why they're drawn to you. They just be like, wow, like you did something different. You didn't do nothing but say hello. And they just drawn to you. It's magnetic. You set the atmosphere when you walk in rooms. I'm so serious. Like I'm like literally giving y'all free game. That literally giving y'all free game. And I've been doing this for years. And I just show up unapologetically who I am and how I am. And I don't even be caring. Like and still and light up a room. And light up a room. And I'm not telling y'all this like to pat myself on the back. No. I'm telling you this because it really works. But it did not come until I began to work on me. It did not come until I began to do that body of work. When I stopped being sad. When I stopped allowing other people to control the dynamics of who I was going to be and how I was going to show up, everything shifted. So that's what when I said to y'all, when I started giving y'all the math around the idea of, when they say, oh, it's an 8-to-1 ratio of men to women. I was giving y'all the math about that, 8-to-1, 8 women for every 1 man. Like, for real, and I'm just going to be quick about it. 4 of those women don't even want to be in relationships. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm like, think about that. And think about the fact that one of them is taking care of their mother, or they're in a situation where they have other things to do. Somebody else is starting their business and they're going to school. You got a 2-to-1 ratio now. You got 2-to-1 ratio, and one of those women is not working on themselves. Who do you think is going to win the heart and the mind of the person that they really truly want to be with? There is no lack. There is no lack, because most people are not ready for what a person who is working on their healing is working on. They're not ready for it. So that takes them out of the equation altogether. All of the other 7 women who are busy, and to be honest, 4 of them done completely tapped out. I promise you they did, because they tired. They're like, girls, where we going on vacation? Oh, we going to Dubai? Oh, we going to Bora Bora? We're going to the United Arab Emirates. We're going to Ghana. And the girls' trips are popping. We going to Greece, and we going to put on the flying dress. Like, they tapped out. They're like, I don't care if I ever, like, I'm Gucci. I got my house, I got my car, my kids are grown. I can start to vacation. I retired. I'm living my best life, whether I am in a relationship with somebody or not. 4 women out of the 8 have completely tapped out. They're beautiful, gorgeous women, but they tapped out. They're like, I'm over it. I've been hurt. I'm not going through this anymore. I'm not going to keep going through this. And I'm telling you, and the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying is because it's a fallacy to believe. I know what the numbers say. The numbers actually say it's even. It's a 50-50 split on men to women. Google it. I'm not making it up. It's an equal amount, but everybody's in different situations, right? Because now you got to still take out the people who are incarcerated. You got to take out, people who live alternative lifestyles. You got to take all of that out of the equation on both ends of the spectrum. So think about that. Even if it's still an 8-to-1 ratio of available men for women, there really isn't a lot of, there's not a lot of competition, girls, for those who want to heal and get better and meet somebody who they can be a blessing to their lives and somebody can be a blessing to yours. It's not a lot of competition, because women don't even know that their mindset, and I'm not trying to be funny, men too, because there's some angry men out here. And they want to live the soft girl life. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not saying all men, there are some. So when you think about that, and you think about what it is that you kind of want for your life and being in alignment, once you know what you want, you're setting yourself up to get it. It's only when you don't know what you want that you're floundering. Most people don't know what they want. So you're ahead of the game if you know what you want and you have boundaries and you have made a decision that I am not just going to just be with whomever doing whatever, right? So when you make up your mind, you stack the deck in your favor. You have to want it. Right? And so that requires a shift in you. And you have to want it so much that you want to enhance your life with or without a partner, but you want to stack the deck always in your favor. And that requires strategy. I'm not making it up. We strategize everything else. We strategize what degree we need to get to what job. We strategize how we want to raise our children, what schools we want them to go to, what universities, what colleges. There's always a strategy. There's always something else in the works in the background that don't nobody really know about. All you need is a strategy for your healing to get your mindset where you want it to be. Because what do you really want? That's the question. What do you really want for your life? And I know I'm not for everybody. I know that I cannot help everybody. That's not, listen, if it's one person that I read, say that again for those who didn't hear you in the back speaking, Miss Kim. Listen, Candy, I'm just saying, it's strategy, right? I'm not trying to be funny. You set up everything else in your life. Set that up. Set it up so it is so you have the advantage, right? So I think I shared with y'all yesterday or the day before yesterday, I don't remember, that I'm in my pink girl era. And my pink girl era says I'm not doing the lawn anymore. I'm over it. I'm tired. I'm not doing any of that anymore because Kim is just going to do Kim, right? And whether it's my nephews or anybody else, like, I've made a decision that there are certain things that I'm just absolutely not doing anymore, right? I want to be in my feminine energy no matter what's going on around me. Now, I still have to do the masculine things as far as make all the decisions because I'm the head of my household. But I want to sit in this place that I would attract a man who understood who he was, right? Without me opening my mouth, because I'm not opining over anybody. So that he'll say, oh, I said it the day before. Yes. So that he'll be like, wow. And when he says, oh, can I help you with that? I'm going to be like, yeah, baby, you can. I'm not going to say, no, I'll take out the garbage. No, you don't need to do. No. Do what you can. Let me see. And I'm going to do what I can. Do you understand? Hey, Heartsome, I see you. Thank you for the hand heart. Thank you, baby. I appreciate that. You understand? Because what we're doing is we're positioning ourselves. So I don't know. Okay, so let me say this, because this might sound crazy, but let me just say this, right? I don't leave my house, right? And well, unless I'm going to the gym, because I go to the gym frequently, right? I don't leave my house looking any kind of way. I always leave my house. Now I put it, even if I'm, well, not to the gym, but other places, I might put a little light face on. Always have on my earrings, always have on jewelry. When I come in the house, I generally take off whatever necklace I have on and put it here on my desk. I don't go outside without jewelry on, without earrings, without anything. And every time I leave my house, I look cute. I'm stacking the deck, baby. I'm stacking the deck. And then my attitude, the way that I present, my energy, I'm emitting positive energy. When people talk to me, I'm like, hey, honey, how are you? Feminine energy. All the time. I will never, ever again come out of my feminine energy. Now, I'm still doing masculine things because I got to take care of my house. I have to make the decisions around that. Okay, thank you for the sub stickers. Yes, I see them. Yeah. Listen, I I just say I'm wearing my stuff and being cute every exactly. Exactly. Every day in your feminine. Every day being soft, practicing it. And y'all talking to somebody who has sluggish tendencies. But and I'm not telling you to wear makeup or do anything like that if that's not your jam, because you don't have to wear makeup. I just sometimes put on a little light foundation and just keep it moving. And might put on lip liner and some lip gloss. But I don't go out of the house with my hair looking crazy. I don't, no. First of all, I'm grown, so I ain't wearing pajamas out of the house on no day, right? But you get what I'm saying? It's setting yourself up. It's shifting your attitude. It's shifting your mindset. You are becoming, right? And I know you had enough of all of the stuff that you've already gone through. So we have to shift something. What's the first thing you can shift in your life that is within you that is going to attract the job you want, the education you want, the opportunities you want, the partner you want? Like it's a slow, methodical shift in who you are and how you show up. Because right, Candy Girl, you never know who's looking at you. You never know who you're going to meet. You could be looking for a position, at a company or whatever, and be at the grocery store and I don't know, hand somebody a coupon. And he's like, oh, and they start talking to you. You never knew who you're going to meet. You may find an opportunity for your child, right, to have a summer position or whatever. You don't know who you're going to meet. So you always want to present yourself, whether it's for an opportunity for employment, a better position, whatever it is, right? You might end up meeting. I remember when I used to do the Emotions Forum, I didn't know the people that were in that room. There was doctors, psychologists, medical doctors. There were professors. There was the vice president and the president of Nassau Community College. I didn't know who they was. These people came, they were in the room, and everybody in there was a professional. They were police officers and fire chiefs and all of these different things. You get what I'm saying? But you never know who's in the room that you're going into. Right? So if you're going to a networking event or not, you still want to present yourself to always, like Candy Girl, be on point, right? It increases your chances of meeting someone. And I'm not saying that is your sole, game every time you walk out the house, but you never know what's going to happen as you go out and you're presenting yourself in a way in which it is conducive. It's all about you getting to the next level in your life. I tell women that all the time, especially women, right? But men need to do it too, because you never know who you're going to meet. And you want to position yourself to have the type of people in your life who can help you to get to the next level. If I look at you and I don't think you care about yourself, I may not invest my time or my attention into you. And I'm not saying you gotta look like, button down. I'm not saying that. I'm just being perfectly clear that in order to get to where it is that you really truly want to be, you're going to have to be consciously aware of how you show up in rooms, how you leave your house, who you want to attract. You got to know these things in advance. You don't know what opportunity you're going to miss or not miss. Sometimes we hide and we think our pain doesn't show up on us, but it does. That's why the mindset has got to shift. Listen, y'all, I got to get ready to go because my little sis is coming to pick up her dog. And in about 5 minutes, she's going to ring my doorbell and he's going to go nuts and all of that. I will be back on here tomorrow night at 7, right? And tomorrow night, I might do girl. Okay, Max done drove me crazy barking and carrying on here. But I just want y'all to know I'll be on tomorrow night at 7. My Bible study starts at 7. But because I'm working and I'm calling this my work, I'm going to be consistent and I'm going to be here tomorrow night at 7 because that's what I'm doing all week. Right. And then Friday and Saturday, I'm not going to be on. I don't intend to be on, but I might show up. Right. If I'm not busy. So we'll see how that goes. Right. But when I tell y'all I appreciate y'all and I love y'all and y'all are so dope and y'all are so amazing. And I really, really appreciate all that you're doing. Hi, my favorite person, I Kim. How are you doing today? How was your day? My day was amazing. My day was amazing, Coley Cole. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the subscribers only live tomorrow when I get off the regular live. So if you're a subscriber, then I'm going to be doing the subscribers only live tomorrow. So as soon as the other live is over, we'll do 30 minutes where y'all can come up and just talk to me because it's only going to be a few of us in there. Right. And I just open it up so you can come up and we can have some real discussion. And it's not so many people that you got to even be nervous. And we can have a real discussion about everything that's going on. Right. So tomorrow I'm going to do that right after the live. Hey, Sherelle. Sure. I see you, baby, with the rose. Thank you. Thank you. So then we can really have a heart-to-heart conversation. How about that? So tomorrow night, after the live, I'm saying it again, we are going to do a sub-only live. So if you're a subscriber, you could be a part of that and you could come up and we're going to have a real conversation and some real dialogue. Okay? Listen, I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all the love. I got to 10,000 hearts today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a good night and I will see y'all tomorrow. Yes, I had a 10K night, Candy Girl. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Y'all have a blessed one. I'll talk to y'all later. Hey, Maxie Pooh. Hey, my baby. Let me shut off this live.